So, Jim, simple. You've got to win at Woking.
That's it, where we're at. Obviously wanted 6 points over the Easter period. We got four. Four wasn't what we wanted, but you take it. It's a decent return from the position that we're in. We did need six, and now it's, with the results going against us elsewhere, we know where we're at. We've got to go to Woking and win to keep our hopes alive and keep fighting, yeah.
You mentioned Easter, great win at Rochdale, good draw against Carlisle. How disappointing is it that things do look so difficult to survive at this point?
Yeah, listen, we've been up and down. I've maybe since they come in, and then the main game that got away from us, which was the day where I thought this is a big task, was Southend away. It was 5 on the day, could have been a few more, and then we had that really good week's training where we done a lot of defensive shape and put the lads under stress and really, give them a bit of training, made them, physically a little bit better and mentally stronger. Just try to replicate all them stresses and as I say, defensive shape. And we bounced back over 4-0 win against Eastleigh, which was great. And then since then we did okay. The Sutton win was great, the Wheelstone win was great, and then the killer goal, I keep saying, was the Braintree one at home. It was that would have been 3 wins on the spin and really kicked us on. And then the 3 games after that, which we lost, they were all very, very tight. Some of that defending from Hartlepool right at the end there to keep it 3 points for them and stop us from getting a point was outstanding. And little bits of, the first goal away at Yeovil, where it hit the post, it jammers on the back of the head and went in. There's no shots on target in the half, and we ended up conceding 1 goal. So that was disappointing because we could have easily took something from any of those games. We could have lost, I said on the day, we could have lost against Rochdale. The game could have got away from us. And we could have took more from the ones that we didn't. But that's football, it is what it is. But we bounced back with, a fantastic win at Rochdale. Carlisle again, it was a tight game. We got our nose in front, they pegged us back, we got back on level terms. We could have won it, they could have won it. We threw caution to the wind, they kept bouncing back and hitting us on the break when we give the ball away cheaply in the middle of the park, and Miles kept us in it, but they couldn't kill us off, so we kept fighting away. So yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing the position that we find ourselves in. We've always said we can't rely on whatever else goes on elsewhere. Some of the clubs have been in real poor form, the likes of Brackley. I think it's the first win in something like 10-11. I think Aldershot are the same as well. And as I say, when you get a point and one of them or two of them get 3 points, certainly can make the job more difficult, and that's been the case. So we know where we're at now. It is disappointing, but we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We can't affect the past. It's all about the future. The future's the next game. Woking away, we're still in with a fight. Or a chance, we're still fighting away, and we'll go there and give it our best shot like we have done every game. No one can be critical that we haven't had a go. It would have been easier for me to come in and just go right, sit right on the edge of our box, kill the game, just play for a counter attack or a lucky break or a set play. We've gone after teams, and that's typified with the goals that we've scored. 32 in 15 games is a great return, certainly for any team at any level, in any position in the league. But to be in a a bottom 2-3 situation to score 32 goals is outstanding. So we've been all right in that regards. The lads are competing. You can't kid the physical stats in these day and ages with the GPSs and things like that. You get everything that you need. Your distances, your sprints, your high intensity runs, all that. And that's all been good. The togetherness has been good. The fact that we've created and scored goals is good. The thing that's obviously let us down is that we've conceded too many goals. So, we're still since I've come in, a plus goal difference. But it's disappointing, yeah, to see where we're at. But as I say, we've got to keep going. Stranger things have happened. It's a big task. But we go to Woking and try and win the game, and then see what happens, whatever else happens around the country, and hopefully there's a few favours if we can win the game on Saturday, which obviously is going to be a tough one.
You mentioned the Braintree goal, that late equaliser. Did that show the importance of momentum? We've seen it with Gateshead. They've had this incredible momentum that's got them to safety. Morecambe have never quite got that, have they? And I think maybe that Braintree goal showed that perfectly.
Yeah, that's probably fair to say. You could just sense amongst the players, everyone hit the ground when that goal went in. 96th minute, we should have been out of sight in the game. You know, we had the opportunities to go 2 and 3-0 up, but while it's 1-0, they'll still keep coming at you and throw caution to the wind. And that's what happened with the goalkeeper coming up in the last moments for the last corner kick, which ultimately we didn't clear, and he whizzed into the centre forward, and everyone panicked and ran towards the line, and the lads chested it and great finish, but it just took the wind out of our sails. You could sense it round the ground as well. It was just an absolute... Although it wasn't a losing goal, you know, that extra 2 points would have made a hell of a difference. But as you say, momentum and confidence would have been through the roof to win 3 on the spin. I was told it hasn't been done in probably 2 years or something mad like that. So, yeah, but again, we keep saying it's football, it happens. The game's not just 90 minutes long, it's the injury time and all that. And we have conceded quite a few late goals, which, you know, certainly in that case has really has hurt us and stopped that confidence and momentum that we probably could have done with at that time going into the next 3 games.
Do you wish you'd got the job a little bit earlier?
I've enjoyed it. It's been hard. Probably, yeah. You know, I think there's been an upturn. There's been an upturn in the feel. Good factor around the place. There was obviously a little bit of a disconnect with all aspects of the club. But, you know, I'm really proud of the fans, how good they've been since they've come back. You know, I've got a great respect and relationship with the fans from my time here previously, but it's just gone on another level. You know, to see, if you look at the York game, that was outstanding. That really hit home how important, how good our fans were, you know what I mean? So I think if we could have got that a little bit sooner, it might have been a different story. Who knows? I said at the time when I took over, Jurgen Klopp's out of work. He could have come in and maybe turned it round, maybe not turned it round. You know, I've come in, I know the club, I've got the best interest of the club at heart. I love the club, and you know, I've given it my absolute all, and that's all I can do. I can sleep at night knowing that I've earned the wages that I'm on. And yeah, it's a lot's gone on, but I'm thankful that I've took it over. I'm respectful and appreciate the support that I've been given, not just by the fans. I think that's pulled it all together. Suddenly, you know, the fans were getting right behind the players were putting a shift in on the pitch, you know, and if I'm being honest, I keep going back to it, the owners have been great with me. You know, I've got a good relationship with Rupinder. They give me everything that I needed in regards to going to sign a few players. We wanted more, but obviously certain situations threw themselves up out of the club's control at that moment, where you're lining 1 or 2 more players to come in with regards to the transfer embargoes, which, you know, is something that's been picked up from the previous regimes. You know, that's underlying stuff that's, you know, needed sorting out. I've said all along, the club's in a healing process from where it was, where it started. Starting the season late, no pre-season, 5 players on contract. Bit of a rush job to get a team together. You know, it's been a really testing, difficult season for all concerned, and you know, it does need a reset. Maybe, you know, that maybe could have been better if it did come in early. Who knows in football? But you know, everyone's got to stick together no matter what happens. You know, we need the club, we need the fans around the club supporting the club more than ever, and I'm sure we can get that, and things going on behind the scenes. I think the club can go from strength to strength. It's at rock bottom, and it's in that healing process and that reset process. But I can see behind the scenes there's people who want it to do well and move forward, and hopefully, you know, I might be a part of that moving forward.
So you say you might be a part of it moving forward. My next question was, have you got one eye on next season, or is it all focus on Woking and get that 3 points and try and get 6 more after that?
Yeah, I've said all along again since I come in, it's not about me, it's about the club. You know, I've come in the hour and need, I tried my best, and trying my best, we'll go to Woking and try our best, and if we can get a win, great, we'll weigh it up. But I've had 1 or 2 conversations behind the scenes over the last couple of weeks with Rupinder, and and Steve's Usnip, and yeah, who knows what's around the corner. You know, I've not really given any thought to say. There's been a few conversations, but how it looks with regards to myself, it's not about me, it's about the club doing what's right. And we'll see what happens over the next few days or weeks or whatever, because ultimately we've got to have an eye on next season. We can't go into next season with the same setup in regards to just getting to the end of the season, or even worse case, obviously last year was no one knew what was happening even at the start of the next season. You know, it's an opportunity to take our medicine if it happens, whatever scenario. And we've got to make sure that we get everything in place to try and, if the worst case scenario does happen, to bounce back. And if the best case scenario, and we stay up and we have a great 3 wins between now and the end of the season, we still need things in place to kick the club on next season. It doesn't matter what level it's at. The club will always be here. The fans will always be behind it. You know, I love them to stick behind us and give us that support. But yeah, we've got to get everything reset and things in place to kick us on and give us a brighter future moving forward.
Injuries wise, you've been without Jamal Blackman the last couple of games. How's he?
He's making progress. He was touch and go for the last game, so that extra couple of days we're hoping that he's improved, but we'll know more when he trains. So, you know, we'll train today and tomorrow. We'll see how he gets on, and I think he could be all right. So we'll see.
Any other concerns?
We've got 1 or 2 bumps and bruises like you always do, especially coming off the back of 2 games in 4 days and the stage of the season and that. So the likes of Ludwig Francioletti, he's making good progress. 1 or 2 in the treatment room over the last day or 2. But yeah, we'll have to have an assessment this morning again, see how people come through training. Obviously we'll travel tomorrow and we'll do everything right in our preparation. So we need to know what's what today before we get on that coach to head down south tomorrow. So there'll be 1 or 2 that we're monitoring. Obviously Mo Sangari's had a bereavement in his family, and again he gets our best wishes. So we'll see where he's at. So yeah, we'll have a head count this morning, whatever squad got on that coach tomorrow morning on how, you know, to travel and train on the way down. We'll be under no illusion what to expect. We all know the score now. Let's go to Woking and win.